trying to get up here so I can jump in my kayak until dark. I don't know if I should try to go to that old school spot, the one I used to go to all the time. Haven't been there in about a year and a half, 2 years maybe. It's about 10 miles further up the road than where I've been turning, where I've been parking. Man, get a load of this. If you don't believe in the Almighty and what they can do for us, you better start believing, you know, because I believe you just got to give it time. Just like this thing I found in the woods. First day of vacation about 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to get a new wallet, but I haven't had the time. And then I found this thing practically brand new. Had a baby picture in it though, nothing else. All I had to do was just clean it off. And once I cleaned it, this thing is practically brand new. But there's something else right next to us. You'll never believe it. It's almost like they can read my mind out here. Well, they're part of all of us. But get a load of this, hold on. Man, you guys crazy with this. Thank you, Almighty, for this day. Thank you for telling the other ones, the ones who are always watching over us. Thank you for the laws of nature doing things, you know. Or, you know, getting to other people to trash things that we need so desperately, man. I was out here about 2 weeks ago during vacation, and the back was hurting so bad because of sciatica. And I had the hardest time out here for the last 3 hours. The last time I was here because the sciatic nerve was bothering me so bad. And the only thing that I prayed for so hard was thinking about getting some kind of cushion. Get a load of what's over here. Already touched it and picked it up. It's almost dried out. I think it's a little bit damp though. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Thing's probably been sitting out here for about a week, maybe longer. A seat cushion. And it's the perfect size for the kayak. Man, we made it. Another day in heaven. If you believe in this or not. Would you look at that? Man, those clouds are tight for real. Early June. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Just like this new cushion I just found on the bank, man. Even the other guys back there in their boat, get in their boat behind us on the boat ramp. I tossed this thing in the kayak, and they looked down at it a couple of minutes later and said, this guy's smart. He bought himself a cushion. See? How weird is that? I'm not going to say we bought the cushion. It was gifted to us. Due to the pain that we feel, due to the things we must have, the things that we require, but not desire. Hey, that rhymed. You know what I mean? The ones out here who are always listening, always recording, always watching over all of us, they know exactly what each and every one of us need. And I need a cushion. Maybe if they can hear me out when I say I need a wide cushion, a big cushion when it comes to the bank account. Dang, bro, what you guys doing over here? Is that a sign that you're recording? You're sneaking up behind me, recording my every word, my frequency. I would take that as a yes. at this point in time in my life. Dang, look at that. Boy. Absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever seen cirrus clouds like that out here at this exact position I'm in this world of ours. This pinpoint where I'm sitting right now, I don't think I've ever seen the clouds such as this. I mean, I've seen cirrus clouds out here before, but nothing like this. Brush strokes. It's exactly what they are. They're brush strokes. Man, that's tight. Oh, cute. A baby turtle. They just jumped in because they saw my big butt coming through on the kayak, man. My bad. It's always weird to me how the nature of it all, how they react to seeing the human race. I mean, if a squirrel flew by, you know, they got flying squirrels. Not out here, though. But if anything flew by, if a bird flew by, if a chipmunk scurried by, they wouldn't even bat an eye. They would just sit there and chill. If a snake slithered by, they would remain on the log. What is it about the human race that causes fear, strikes fear in all the other ones? You know, all of nature. Is it the disconnect of the energy, you know? Is it the frequency? Is it the shape, the form, the outline? Sometimes I just don't get it. You know, when I'm studying the birds out on the bird feeders and stuff like that, and they're sitting practically right next to the squirrels, you know, there's like 2 or 3 squirrels out there chilling, eating up the feed, the seed that I set out for them. And I look at all the different species of birds that are out there on the bird feeder, you know, about 2 or 3, 4 species at one single time, and 2 or 3 squirrels out there. And they're like within a foot of each other, you know? But the second I stand up off the bed, the second I go towards the window, everyone just takes off, you know? Crazy how nature, the animals and stuff, the birds, how everything within nature itself, the body of it, how it is connected differently than the human race is. One thing that's always bugged me about that, you know. I mean, we got a squirrel out there, you got a bunch of birds, and a brisk wind comes by, some high winds, and it blows the trees, and the trees are in motion, you know, moving around real fast. The branches look like a bunch of green arms, like the Green Giant bodybuilder, you know, big muscles and stuff out here. And they're moving around in a brisk wind, and the birds just sit there. The birds just sit there, man. The squirrels just sit there. Chipmunks just sit there and chill, look around. Doesn't bother them a single bit. But the second one single human being, no matter how tall, how short, how old, how young, the second one of them is in sight, everything of nature just takes off. Some things we got to figure out, you know. Yeah, as you can tell, I had to take the shoes off, make it feel like I'm still on vacation. Look at this, though. I told you this was going to happen, guys. I told you. Look at the right foot. Something's missing. Well, it's still a bit off-colored because of the sore of it all. There's something missing from the top of the right foot. I told you this was going to happen. I know how nature works. It's one of the main reasons I want to get out on the kayak and get some sun when vacation time rolled around, or when the warm season rolled around. The main deal was to heal the feet of the rash, the athlete's foot. I can't believe I spent all that money during the winter time, man, since like November. All this athlete's foot medication from the drugstore, Kroger, whatever. Stuff costs $16 a bottle, a tube. And not to mention all the other stuff I tried. The fungal cure, whatever you call it. The Tinactin stuff too. That dang athlete's foot on top of the right foot. Behind the 3 toes. And all it took was to come out on my kayak like two times just about. Get the sun on it. And stick my feet in the soils. Yeah, I did that too a couple of times. When it was getting dark and I was close to the boat ramp, I would get out and stand in the peanut buttery stuff. I just stood in there for a good 10 to 15 minutes watching the sunset, knowing that things very special were about to happen to my feet. Had that dang athlete's foot for about 7 months. And within about less than a week, it gets healed. I want to see if my blade of grass is still alive over here. You're going to say a blade of grass? What are you talking about, a blade of grass? Well, there was this, I think it was about a month ago when I was out here, there was like a large blade of grass. Maybe it was after a rainstorm or something like that, dislodged it. And it was floating over here somewhere, a little bit further down the river. Still had the roots attached to it, everything. I knew it was a life that needed to be saved, and I planted that thing over here. It was one of these bushy things. I'll never forget it. I never will. It was right over here. There it is, right there. That thing is chilling. Look at that. Ain't nothing like saving lives. There it is, right there. I remember exactly where I put it. Planted it, right there. Heck yeah. Ain't nothing like saving life. You don't know what kind of impact you can have anywhere in the world, man. That thing was wilted too. When I came by about another few days later, the next weekend I came by and it still didn't look too good. I just told myself, you gotta give it time. It'll find its way back to major life. Quite the find. For real though, man. I mean, there's nothing like taking a tree that's destined for death, you know? Destined to be injured, destined to have a short life, no older than about a year. That's stuck someplace. Just praying to be given a life, you know, long enough to thrive out in places like this. I want to tell you something though, there's nothing like that feeling. Nothing like it. About taking something so small, so delicate. Boy, do I ever sound so crazy. What the heck kind of human life is this? Yeah, but there's nothing like taking like a small little pine tree, about that big, that you find in some cracks of some rocks. You know it's not going to last longer throughout the summer. You find a baby oak tree trying to bloom in between some cracks of a sidewalk. People keep stepping on it, kicking it, running over it with a cart or something. And you take that thing out into a place like this. Plenty of sunlight, got to find the right spot. And you plant it out with its brothers and sisters. All the other ones just like it out here, the different species. And you come back 300 years later, 170, to see that thing still living. Ain't nothing like it. I've never been over here before. Well, because I'm always running out of time. Don't flip over the energy drink. We can't afford to wait. Let's open that thing. Look at that thing. Look at it stuck up in here, man. Not stuck anymore. We got that thing. Ain't nothing like cleaning heaven. Come on, little guy. Somebody's struggling over here, a little honeybee. Grab on, guy. Come on. Dry off and then fly off like you always do. Just don't plop down in the water. Man, the predicaments that these guys get themselves in, man. Get flipped upside down on the waters and they can't do jack. And then a fish comes by to swallow them up. I know it's a different kind of balance of life out here, you know. But there's no harm in saving a few of them. Guess I'll be having to give him time to dry off. I'm looking. Ain't nothing like laying your eyes on something you haven't seen before. A place you haven't seen before. I know it's just a pine zone, forestry, that kind of thing. A lot of pines up in here. Still makes me wonder, what have they discovered in the past couple 100 years doing this thing out here? Man, that's a dream come true right there. Come on, little guy. No, I'm not gonna boot you off. I'm just gonna plant you some other place. You're gonna have to climb on this thing right here. Come on. They're probably talking. They're probably saying, I'm resting. Come on, little guy. Human race already thinks we're crazy. All right, you can rest up here now. Want to rest in the sun so you can dry off quicker. Good enough for now. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk around over here. I want to see what this hill is over here, and that's going to be it. I'm not gonna go too far. I wanted to go far on water. I just want to get to a hill where I can look around and panoramic view. Let me go ahead and put the can down real quick though. Look at me walking around out here with a Nas instead of a Budweiser. What you know about that? Gotta be careful though, man. That little bumblebee, little honeybee is going to find its way into that can They're going to find the main treasure. For real. All that sugar. I hit the jackpot. Look what I found. Man, just wait till I tell all the guys and girls about this thing here. We got enough sugar in this can to last us a lifetime. Just because we were given the window, the door through heaven, into another heavenly place to experience it, doesn't mean there's not going to be anything dangerous out here, you know. I mean, look at this thing right here. I'm going to have to go all the way around that thing just to get around. Look what I just found. There's no way the waters get this high. Anytime I come across little flip-flop or bottom of creek walking shoes or whatever these things are, that's a size 12. That's my size. Yeah, someone dragged that thing up here. It's got teeth marks in it. I know there's no way the waters get... there's no way the waters get that high out here. All right, we got a lip right here. Looks like an old access road. Man, I'm always just hoping to see something no one's ever seen before. Because I'm always looking for something out of the ordinary that people normally don't care about. I mean, just think about the logging industry coming out here back in the 40s, the 60s, or whenever. You know, cutting down trees, moving things around, up in the tractors, whatever. There are things that they don't notice. There are things that they fail to see. There are things that they could have seen but failed to recognize. As something significant. Keep a lookout. Keep the ears open. Whoever knew that something so heavenly, so peaceful, could be so dangerous? Man, look how the light comes through on this one little pine tree right here. I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going. Yeah, you can see the gap in the trees right here. That's where the green line is. All these green lines are exactly the same. They look exactly the same. Meaning what? With one turn of the head, one blink of an eye, one single thought, you can easily be transplanted visually into a totally different location that you recognize somewhere else. And it looks exactly, oh boy, how scary. Look at that, man. Don't do this to us now, guys. Don't. That one single frame looks exactly like 3 others that I've been in before or come to before. Same kind of drop down, same kind of hill, same kind of power lines, same kind of poles. And if I stood here long enough looking at this, for more than a minute, it'll get you lost. And you go back in here thinking you're in that other spot, one of the other 3 to 5 spots, and you'll go into a different direction. The park is this way, a mile. No, it's this way. But wait a minute. But I just went 2.5 miles from over here. I just wanted to see what it looked like before I went too far. That's what I'm talking about right here. The same kind of ground cover that I recognized from about 4 other places. It's like a different kind of deja vu. I tell you about that all the time. It's like the overlapping of imagery on top of one another, how they overlap within the mind to create a different kind of mental picture, a different kind of map, a different kind of landscape. But truth is always told out here. A different kind of warning, never to be coming out in the wintertime during hunting season. Got the hunting chair right there with the ladder. That looks like some kind of deer feed thing. You got the little feeder up there, the mechanical one. And then you got the hunting thing up there. The only thing now that's probably missing out here is a gigantic extra zoom trail cam with the auto picture that sends to somebody's iPhone within 10 seconds of being spotted. At least I made it someplace today. Bingo. You're gonna say, Da Vinci, why don't you become an archaeologist? Well, it's a different kind of archaeology. No, I'm looking at geology. I'm coming across these little clay spots. You're gonna say, yeah, right, you're looking for artifacts. No, I'm not. I'm looking for these things right here. These little clay spots, where they at? These gray clay spots that are just like random through here. It's the first thing I noticed when I started walking up here. That's the ancient clay, the gray clay. But look what else I just found. Bingo. Old crock piece. Probably from the 1880s all the way through, well, it could be from the 1790s. There's another one right there. What does that mean? Old home site close by. Maybe an old dumping ground or something where they dump stuff and some of it just ended up out here. I knew there had to be something out here. All right. In this washout ditch right here, man. Old home site close by, probably. Very close. Great recovery for today. But I'm not taking it. It's illegal. Great find for today. Da Vinci stall needs to stay out here. Epic find. How so? Well, like I just said, It means there was something out here from like the either could be mid 1800s all the way through the early 1930s. But where? And today is not the day to go looking. Looks like this is going to be the end of it right here. Oh, look at that. Geology. Very cool find. Just don't step on it. Yep, this is the end of it. Always got to take note of discoveries like that. Imagine what could have been out here a couple hundred years ago during the settlement times, whatever, up until like the 1920s, 1930s. I know you're right. You're going to say it could have been just an old moonshine gig in one of these creeks, no home site. Always got to think about stuff like that out here. Can't forget that thing. My mind has been slipping. Hey, look, an old school. Yeah, they definitely had something out here. Look at that, Colors of the Lady. The Puzzle of Life. Yeah, great finds. I knew there had to be something out here. Great discoveries. But that's what I was talking about earlier. It's exactly what I was meaning earlier when I was talking about that situation. Over time, things had to be discovered. The men and women coming out here, clearing the land for the power lines back in, I think, the 50s, late 40s, early 50s. They would have seen something major. Probably not major to them, I don't know. Something interesting. But back in the 50s, back in the 40s, the scale of time doesn't match up to everyone's desires to what they think is important historically, you know. I mean, if you're back here back in the 1940s and you come across some old pottery from back in the 1890s, that's only about 55, 60 years old at that point in time. But now it's well over 130 just about. Man, the scale of time is crazy. Like I tell you every time, when it comes to the artifacts of life and time, you just have to give things time. You just got to give it time. All right, now I'm in a hurry. Hoping someone didn't find the kayak, you know. I didn't bring the wallet with me. Gotta look out for everything that's long and looks like leaves out here. Making me rush through here, not fair. Dang, bro. Can't believe I walked all the way out there just to make a big discovery. Ain't nothing like it though. Knowing that they had an old home site or possibly an old school dumping ground out here. Probably from the 1890s through the 1930s. Old moonshine gig, probably. Look at this, man. Look at this, man. See, they got me going towards something. I don't know what it is, because look, we bypassed the kayak. We bypassed that thing. Let's go ahead and follow their lead. They're probably trying to take me a safe route. Or maybe there's something that needs to be discovered. I don't know. You can't just walk past the zone for nothing. Because something's got to guide you every step of the way. Time to get these cans. Let's hope no one hijacked that thing right there. You know how the bees like to hijack them cans? You ever picked up a Coke can or something like that after a few minutes and not knowing that a bee climbed on the inside and it stings your upper lip? Well, the only thing about making a discovery like that, see, I'm guaranteeing you, man, I'm telling you right now, they know, at least me, I'm always looking for something interesting. And they know what is out every single place. Everywhere. They know where every little piece is, every tiny piece of human development. It could be a shard of, it could be a brick. It could be a mound of bricks. It could be a mound of rocks from the ancient times. It could be a cigarette lighter. But they know that these entities out here, they've been calling me this since about 2017, one of the first EVPs I've ever captured on audio. They said, "You're the history buff." Back when I had an iPhone 5. Back when I had an iPhone 5. Who knew it was going to capture EVPs deep out in the wilderness? Out in the North Georgia mountains, you know? You're the history buff. The history is here. And they know I'm always looking for it. And they know where everything is. I tell you what, it's like every time I go out and do something now, no matter what I do, especially when it comes to something like this, just being out in nature, I just take it for what it is. I just let them guide me, and I just end up walking. Knowing that we might discover something absolutely incredible. But pick up the garbage, the modern garbage, while we're at it. So now next time I come out, it won't be to just be on the kayak. The sole purpose would be to come out and look for an old homesite during a very nice exploring session. One in which I'm going to have to prepare for real.